Good morning, everyone. Kyle says there's 10 of you here today. So, hi. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. It makes it worth coming down and having my morning chat with Kyle before we teach. I just wanted to briefly give you some thoughts about what's going on in my head right now. And I feel like we are living in this like really polarized time, and we've for a long time existed where, some people thought this was right and this was wrong, and other people thought this was right and this was wrong. It was very polarized. And I think what we're really realizing right now that everything has this gray. Every single thing has this gray area in it, and there isn't necessarily anything where we can firmly plant ourselves in right and in wrong, because each time we try and make such like 100% firm, assured things, it feels like we learn something new that shakes that foundation. And so there's so few things that have the kind of solid foundation around that. And some of those things that are solid are just, love one another, be kind to one another, be patient with one another, gratitude and consideration. And the other one for me right now is just nature. Like, I feel like the sunshine and the fresh air, the sound of the river, and watching the leaves come out on the trees and the blossoms everywhere. Like, that's something that just feels real when the rest of the world doesn't at all. Yeah, that's what's wavering in me right now, quite a bit. So wanted to share. Let's do some yoga. So come to your mat and ground yourself. Let's figure out how to have that nice, long, tall spine. Man, if you've been practicing for a while and it's almost like your body knows the mat. Your body comes to this place, and as soon as you sit yourself here, as soon as you take that first breath, you can feel a physical change wash through you. And it is a change of settling, of sinking into yourself, of pulling down out of the busyness and noise of our world and into something that feels more stable. And just know that is a reward. If it's not something that you're experiencing yet, know that that is a reward of a practice. Is that, like Pavlov's dog, we come to our mat and our body knows what that means. Our body responds to our presence here, showing up on this mat, and it says, thank you. And already, before we have even begun to move, we get to start to experience the benefits of our practice. And so feel that grounding breath. Notice it slide in and out of your body. Notice the smoothness with which it's received. Maybe there's a bit of shakiness to it today. My breath feels pretty filled with emotion. Remember, we come to the mat not to perfect some physical movement, pose. We come to the mat to explore and connect with all that is within. And we start at the physical layer. We move to the breath layer. We sense into the mental emotional layer and arrive at our intuitive layer. And when we let ourselves experience the connection of those layers, we allow ourselves to drop into the fifth, the bliss layer. So let's start exploring those layers. Move yourself from this position to your cat and cow. Knees underneath, hips. Start to do some nice rolls. So it feels like you're actually taking the arm bones in big circles around in the wrists. Change whatever direction you're going. Come back to center. Allow yourself to just lift and release into the anchor joints of your fingers. And then come down as you sink your bum back towards the heels. Pull your wrists up off the mat. I'm going to move my hands a bit further forward. See if you can lift your fingers as high to the sky as you pull your bum back as possible. Just messing with that opportunity. Nice. Coming back up, walk those hands even further forward. Shoulders pull forward, and then they roll down and away from your ears as your hips sink to the floor. Lift back to table. Press to a extended forward hero. Lift up and sink down. Can you let your movement and your breath sink together? Just invite your body to expand the breath to help you process and digest. This movement helping us just create better flow in the body so that all of the world events that are saturating us right now, that those can just be more easily, more supportively transferred, digested, transformed, and moved through your body. Nice. Coming all the way back to center, take your right hand underneath, take a big stretch, and then inhale those fingers up to the sky. Reach and stretch. Reach and extend. Nice. Change hands, putting that right one down. Left stretches and opens. Moving through the spine, getting the rotation moving. Again, allowing your breath to access all the little back corners where we hide stuff that we don't want to look at. Nice. Bringing the hands back down onto the mat, letting your back toes curl under, stretching up into that downward dog, and paddling here. Clearly. Reaching. Yeah. Press through the palms. Sit bone reaches for the sky. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Nice work. Gaze forward to your hands. I want your knees to bend so that the right foot can step forward and land between those hands. Sweet. Back, you're in that lunge. Just let yourself sweep back and forth a little bit here. Perhaps the front leg comes all the way to straight. Maybe not. Maybe you're just going to straighten it as much as it feels possible. Sweet. Drop the back knee. Sink the hips really far forward here. Inhale your hands up to the sky. As you drop them down to your heart, just do a small back bend. Gaze to the ceiling. Beautiful. Hands back up to the sky. Bring them down to frame that front foot. Back toes curl under and lift. And then step back with the right. Downward dog. Your gaze moves forward to your thumbs, your knees bend, the left foot draws forward between the hands. Play, moving through the tightness. If you have blocks around you, you grab them. Yeah. Slide that front knee forward and back in whatever range of motion feels appropriate for it today. Sweet work. Knee bends, back knee grounds, and your hips sink forward. Inhale, your hands move all the way up to the sky. Small back bend as you drop the hands to heart center, gazing up. Sweet. Releasing, let the hands come back to the ground, back toes curl under, downward dog. Breathe. Paddle one heel at a time and sway your hips, lifting the sit bone and opening the side of the hip up to the ceiling as you sway that heel to the ground. Nice. Good. Let's draw that right foot forward again. So knees bend, it steps between the hands. Now back foot is going to step up just a little ways. Nice. Straighten the front leg. Bring your hands perhaps to that shin and lengthen the back. See how much distance you can find between your pelvis and the collarbones. So as you extend that front line of your body, just keep the chin soft, the back of the neck long. Breathe. Yeah. Inhale those hands up and then just begin to bring yourself all the way up to standing. Good work. Hands come back down to the hips and sink into the front knee. Breathe. Breathe. Back heel peels off the mat. Straighten the standing leg and fold into that warrior three. Take your hands into whatever pose supports you. Nice. Whatever version. From here, you can let your right hand come down towards the floor. Open your left up to the ceiling. Maybe you keep that left hand on the hip. Maybe you open it to the sky. Good work. Now fold your body to face the floor again. See if you can bring that bottom hand up to meet your heart. Stretch long. Reach through the heel, reach through the crown. Bend, gentle bend into that standing leg. Back to warrior one. Nice work. Exhale, your hands come down beside you. Step forward with the back foot. Bring hands up to sky. Inhale. Deep forward fold to the mat. Long, flat back. Plant hands and step to plank. Reach your body forward. As you lower down from knees or toes, choose your back bend, grazing the floor or coming up into just a little cobra. Back toes curl under, downward dog. Paddle your heels. Breathe. Every breath, every movement is processing, is transforming the data, the ideas, the thoughts that have been permeating into your cells. Let's think of the left leg. It's going to step between the hands. Knee comes to chest, foot lands. Beautiful. Back foot takes a partial step forward and you find that long, straight front leg. Then begin to just lift your chest up and away. Lengthen. Collarbones are broadening across the top of your chest. The front line of your body from pubic bone to just this spot at the top of the breastbone is lengthening. Your chin stays soft. The nose points to the floor. Beautiful. Breathe. Breathe. Sweep the arms up in front of you. Let the whole body come back up to standing. Sink into that front knee. Beautiful. Your hands can drop down to your heart. Back foot starts to peel off the ground. Let all your body weight come into that left foot. Press the left leg straight. Lift up. Fold yourself forward. Warrior three. Reach through the last back heel, stretch through the crown. You're finding that same expansion on the front side of your body. Breathe. 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 Good. Let's take that half moon again. Perhaps you can let the left fingers come down to block or floor. If you're lucky enough to have a chair or something beside you, you absolutely can let that hand land on a chair. Beautiful. Reach through that top hand, stretch through the back heel. Breathe. Breathe. Beautiful. Okay, square your right side to the floor again. Nice. See if both hands, once you're square, can draw right back up into the warrior three. Length. Good job. You're bending gently into your standing leg, stepping back with the right foot, hands into warrior one. Beautiful. Breathe here. Sweep the fingers down to the floor. Plant them and step back to plank. Your body does a nice long extension in plank, and you're choosing how you drop to the floor. Once you drop to the floor, remember that you can choose your back bend. Cobra or upward dog, you choose. And then back toes curl under, downward dog. Breathe here again. Nice work. Gaze forward to your hands. Your knees will bend. This time both feet will come forward to those hands. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, deeper fold. Hands come all the way up to the sky and drop them to your heart. Slow down your breath. Long and slow. Good work. All right. Inhale the fingers all the way up to the sky. Deep forward fold. Lift and lengthen tabletop. Hands plant. Step back to plank. In this plank pose, choose your side plank. Anchor your right hand. Drop the right knee or roll to the side of the right foot. The hip pulls away from your bottom wrist. Perhaps that top leg lifts. Breathe. Spring kapha season, we get more mobility, more movement, more heat building in the body. Yeah. Come down and choose your side plank on the left, grounding the bottom hand, lifting the hip, stretching that top hand up to the sky. Choose if that top leg wants to participate. So good. Come down. Nice work. Downward dog, or you decide if you need a child's pose. Shoulders pull away from the ears, hands plant, paddle. Each and every experience, each and every piece of information that comes into our body needs to be digested. Everything that is undigested, yoga calls samskara. It leaves an imprint. It leaves an imprint. Things that are undigested, yoga calls ama, metabolic waste, sludge, leftovers. Sometimes it's trauma, sometimes it's just the daily news. Gaze at your thumbs, bend your knees, walk your feet to your hands. Tabletop your back, exhale and fold. Inhale, fingers come all the way up the sky. So just know that today every movement and every breath is helping you digest and transform all of the information that's coming in your body. Breathe. Breathe. Big step so that we can face the front edge of our mat. I feel like I wore the wrong shirt for filming yoga. Let's take the right foot and kick it out to the side. Drop into that front knee. Beautiful. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Let your arms float up. Can you reach through the fingertips and just feel the power of warrior two? The front knee reaching away from you, the back side of your foot pressing down into the floor. The length between your tailbone and the crown of your head. The soft shoulders relaxing down your back even as the arms are strong and straight, stretching. Breathe. Yeah. Warrior two to exalted. Nice. Back to warrior two and across to extended side angle. Reach. Warrior two. Find the long spine and then bend and flex the spine sideways. Warrior two. Lengthen and extend along the side angle. Warrior two. And open. Back to center. Extend. Nice. One more. And one more. Back to center. Straighten your front leg. Both toes point forward. Hands to your hips. Nice long spine. Long, flat forward fold. Hands can just release to the floor. You choose. If those hands don't want to land on the floor, keep them on your hips. If you're ready to let the fingertips back up in line with the toes, let yourself do that. Test the head falling off the spine. If there's low back repercussions for that, then just let yourself stay in a nice half lift. If not, play. Play with letting the crown of your head drape closer and closer to the floor. Just feeling that extension as you traction the spine from the pelvis, from the hips. It's like a cascade, a waterfall falling from the top of a cliff. Good work. Press arms straight. Plant left hand. Right arm opens up, and then wind that right finger to the sky. Keep your legs straight, your hips square. Bring that right hand down and take left hand up as high as it wants to go without that right hip capsizing. So keep that right hip pulling to the sky as your left hand and shoulder go in the same direction. Come down. Nice. Think about bringing your hands to your hips. If you need to heel toe the feet closer together, go ahead. Bring yourself up, nice flat back, and then tip your left toes out to the side. Sinking into that left knee. Good work. Shoulders relax down. Arms open. Reach. Feel the front knee pulling away. Feel that back foot pressing into the mat. The extension pulling both directions. And then feel the distance between the tailbone and the crown of your head. Reach, breath. Your shoulders get to be soft down your back. The arms are strong, lengthening. Breathe. Yeah, there's so much activity in Warrior 2. Feel it. Extended. Exalted Warrior. Top hand goes to sky, back hand to thigh. Warrior 2. And then other way, extended side angle. Nice work. Just move with your breath. Feel the breath just open up all the corners of your body as you find those lateral sides. Bending and extending the whole side body in these lateral poses. Nice. Let your warm breath reach into all the areas that feel blocked, uncertain, uncomfortable, not in control. Let the warm, guiding breath be the one thing that is controlled, that you have control over. Back to center. So good. Straighten in that front leg. Toes point forward, hands to hips. Sky. Pulling the crown of the head towards it. Shoulders relaxing to the ground. Hands clasp at the low back, pulling the thumb towards the tailbone. Let the shoulder blades pull away from the ears. Lengthen. Allow yourself to fold forward. Keep length across the front side of the body to begin. Just fold as far as you can without losing even a centimeter from your pubic bone to tops of your breastbone. Nice. Chin relaxes. Back of your neck is long. And then as you lift the thumbs, keep that front line of the body long, long, long. At a certain point, the arms won't go anymore unless you allow the spine to bend more. And then the hands will just float up closer to the ceiling. Breathe. 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 Connect the thumbs back down to the sacrum and use that action to lengthen the spine, finding distance between pubic bone and the top of your breastbone again. Inhale, come all the way up. So good. Release your hands. Heel toe the feet back together. Stand tall. Breathe. Start to mess with your toes, feeling all four corners of the feet, bringing the feet as close together as they want to be for your balance pose. All right. Hands come to hips. You're recognizing that you want to keep a neutral pelvis as we move into eagle, Garudasana. We slide our knees forward, our hips down, our back down an imaginary wall. Take weight off the right heel, beginning to let that right knee rise. Cross it over your left. Seal the thighs together without tipping your hips. Let that right foot do whatever it needs to do. Touch the floor, lift, or tuck behind the calf. Soften your breath. Find a steady gaze. Arms open. Right travels underneath the left arm. Hands come to shoulders or wrap to palms. Pull those elbows away from your heart. Reach the thumbs away from your forehead. Sink the hips low as the elbows lift high. Steady your gaze. Breathe. Nice work. Untangle your arms, lift that front knee up in front of you, and then set the right foot beside the left, releasing the hands. Take a nice deep breath. Get ready for eagle on the other side. We bring our hands to our hips, mindfully keeping those hips in a neutral position as we bend our knees and slide our backs down a wall. The right foot grounding, the left heel lifting, drawing it up in front of you. Letting it cross the body and thinking as you seal those thighs together that the pelvis stays neutral. Keep the foot wherever it can be. Oh, toes play differently on this side today. Yeah. Find that balance. Open your arms. This time left goes underneath right. You find your version of hands. Lift elbows away from chest. Pull forearms and thumbs away from forehead. Feel hips sinking low as elbows lift high. Breathe here. Feel your steadiness or lack of today. It can be either. Both are fine. You're just noticing. Breathe. Breathe. Beautiful. Your arms open nice and wide. Let's lift the straight leg, the standing leg. Lift the bent knee, setting it down beside the right. Nice. Find just some mess with your feet. Let them land and plant. Find your balance. Arms just drop down beside you. Wiggle your toes. Feel the soles of your feet on your mat. The crown of your head floating high into the sky. Notice well the conversation in the world wants us to find rights and wrongs, total truths, and it's messing up big time. Just feel how you are capable of sinking past all of that and grounding into what is real. The connection of your feet to the earth, the viability, the healing powers of the earth, and the natural rhythm that it provides to us. And feel the crown of your head float to the universe. Your connection to that universal energy, that universal wisdom within you. Whole and complete within you, but also connected to source. Connected to that higher truth that exists underneath all of the hypocrisy and mistruths and misguided information of our world today. Breathe. Just connect into that grounding, sacred, balanced, strong offer of the earth and the expansive, universal, collective wisdom through your crown. Sweet work. Getting ready for your sun salutation. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale for a deep forward fold. Plant your hands and lengthen that flat back. Bend into your knees till you find a plank, stepping back with each foot. Reach into a nice long plank, stretching through the heels and the crown of your head. Soften your body to the floor. Sweep into whatever back bend feels good for you today. Let your back toes curl under and move to your downward dog. Again, if you're ready for this to be a child's pose instead of a downward dog, you go ahead. Breathe. Breathe. Your right knee can reach forward to your right wrist. Left leg sinks back behind you. Now, if there's any discomfort in this pose at all, I want you to stay right here. You might even keep those back toes curled under so that the back knee doesn't have as much pressure on it. You might find that you want your hands to be tented so that not as much weight is going down into the body. If those things aren't complications for you, then allow yourself to slide forward. Reaching into perhaps elbows wide, stacked fists, forehead resting. Maybe you slide one step lower. Just allow your breath to sink into the right hip. Its warmth, its flow. You can feel it softening and dissipating. Any tightness, rigidity, blocked, both things, the samskara, the residual imprints of life events that get stuck in our hips, as yoga would say, or as Ayurveda would say, the ama. The waste material, the sludge, the undigestible that your body did not know what to do with. Sweet. Hands come back up. Let's roll onto the right hip and sweep that left foot back and around. You can bring the heel to the shin, or you can take that heel and take it all the way over to the outside of the front bent leg. Take a twist. Breathe. Breathe. Nice tall spine, relaxed shoulders, chin floating back. Every breath, feel the length of your spine and the release into the twist. Nice. Here's where we play a little bit. So I want you to find where your fingertips can touch the floor. Leave your feet right where they are. Come forward. So I'm just going to sort of lean forward a bit. Curl those back toes under and lift up. And now I'm going to walk right. Come all the way around until I end up in the exact same position on the left side. It's the trick. Play. You might not end up here at all. Lengthen. Remember, if this right foot doesn't want to be on the outside of this knee, it can come to the shin. So you can be here, or this is sort of where you end up. Take the twist on this side. Breathe. Lengthening from the sit bones up through the crown of the head, keeping the shoulders soft. Try not to use your arms to muscle into the pose too much. Instead, just using your breath and the release through the spine to help you move deeper. Breathe. Chin following, back shoulder. So good. And then allowing yourself to release that pose. Take this front leg and sweep it all the way around. Bring it back behind you, and as you do, these hands come forward and you're once again in pigeon on the other side. So depending on what's going on in your body, you might stay right here. If that back knee doesn't like to be grounded, do something to help it lift. And if your body's inviting you to move deeper, you feel free. Remember, if you can't breathe, you've gone too far. allowing yourself to release and relax into the hip. Our hips are famous storage spots for past traumas, experiences that we were unable to digest. The energy trapped in our body, if it builds up, if it doesn't get dealt with, if it's not released, it can be the source of pain. It can be that pain that it doesn't matter how many times you go to the doctor, they can't diagnose it. And so it is our responsibility to bring breath into our body so that the warmth and the movement can help us move, digest, clear, and release. Walking your hands back up. Sweet work. Back toes curl under. That left foot joins, stacking into that nice long plank, allowing your body to sink down towards the ground. Let's plant the front body. Open the hands up wide beside you. Let the forehead point to the floor. On your inhale, just slide into a nice open back bend. Fingers, backs of wrists, soles of feet, heels pulled up to the sky, even the back of your skull. Breathe. It's a gorgeous contraction in the back body there, and then come down. One more lift. Breathe. So good. So good. Hands come down. Back toes curl under. Press to a downward dog or to hands and knees. Your choice. From hands and knees, you can move to child's pose, unless that downward dog is still calling you. Breathe. We meet in tabletop. Move the feet to the side, bum to the floor. Feet come forward in front of you. Feel the sit bones ground and the crown of your head tall, rolling the shoulders down your back. There's length from the crown of the head to the sit bones. Hands slide in behind the backs of your legs. Shoulders roll down. Lift up, letting the shins be parallel to the floor. It doesn't matter. You can bring them wherever you want. Your arms can extend if it's available to you. Play with those legs. When you hit the spot where there's quivering in the body, or when you feel like you can't maintain the length of the spine, the lift of the chest, just hang out there, keeping your breath fluid and smooth, even though you can feel your body working incredibly hard. Breathe. Breathe. Release down, crisscross, lengthen, and then just slide your fingers forward, releasing your chin into your chest, letting the top of the head drape towards the mat. Sliding yourself back up. Can you untangle this cross and bring it to the other side? Lengthening through the crown of your head, letting yourself fold forward, your chin to your chest, the back of your neck long, releasing through the shoulder blades all the way down your back, softening to the floor. Allowing yourself to slide all the way back up, and then rolling to a reclined position on the mat. Choosing however this needs to be for your Shavasana today. We cannot ignore our physical movement when it comes to the importance of being able to digest mental material, thoughts, ideas, concepts. Your health relies on the movement of breath, the movement of cells, the movement of body in order to reach those deeper layers. And so notice that Annamaya Kosha, outer physical layer today. Notice the Pranamaya Kosha, the breath layer beneath it, enlivening it, filling it, giving it vitality. The Manomaya Kosha, one layer below. Mind, emotions, brain, heart. Notice your connection. Physical, breath, mind, emotion, all together. Vijnana Maya Kosha is our fourth layer, the intuitive body. And while we might not be able to make sense of our world right now with our head, well, it might feel hard to make sense with our heart even. Check in with your intuitive body and see if there is a different layer of wisdom that sits here. And just notice for yourself today if there is congruity, agreement, connectivity between these layers, or if it feels kind of disconnected. Both might be possible. Somewhere in between might be possible. This is not black or white. Just notice where you're at. That final bliss layer, Ananda Maya Kosha, the result of congruity and integrity between our other four layers. It's hard to find right now. If this is a perfect jumping off point for your deeper meditation for you today, then reach over and press stop and allow yourself to move forward into your journey. And if you are ready to end your practice, then just take a deep breath. Notice what you notice. Notice if there's something about this practice that serves you somehow, that connects you into a piece of yourself that gets neglected or ignored parts of our day. And notice if there's any sense of that connection feeling important, valuable, essential. Because when we hardwire what goes well, what is right, then our body gives us a prompt to continue to do it. So deepening your breath, exhaling out of your mouth, bringing movement back into your body. Maybe it's even just slow rolls on your low back. And as you're ready, bringing yourself back up to a seated position. I'd love to know how you're doing. It's really hard to teach to an empty room and not be able to see your faces and know how you are. And when we say namaste, it means the light inside me recognizes and honors the light inside you. And even though I can't see you, namaste. And if you have the ability today, reach out and tell me if you were the one of the people in class today, because I don't know who you are either. And tell me how you are. Let's just connect. Have a great day. Namaste.